They came for songs, for dance, for friendship. But what they didn't know is that this summer camp would turn into a nightmare they'd never forget or never return from. It was a quiet, peaceful night at Camp Mystic, nestled along the banks of the Guadalupe River in southwest Texas. The schoolgirls were fast asleep, some dreaming of songs they'd sing the next day, others thinking about dance lessons, or just enjoying summer with friends. Laughter, stories, and campfire songs filled the evenings. It was meant to be the summer of joy. But no one could have imagined that this would become the longest night of their lives. And for some, their last. Yes, it was raining. But who would have thought the river would rise by 26 feet in just 45 minutes? No one saw it coming, a wall of water rushing silently but fiercely down the riverbank, swallowing everything in its path. A flash flood hit southwest Texas with brutal force. The Guadalupe River, normally calm and serene, suddenly swelled and burst over its banks, crashing into the campgrounds without mercy. Within 2 hours, the entire area was underwater. Homes, tents, cabins, all washed away. The death toll has already reached 24, and between 23 to 25 schoolgirls are still missing. They were all part of the summer program at Camp Mystic. By morning, instead of sunshine and laughter, there was crying, panic, and destruction. Hundreds of families are still waiting, hoping for the return of their daughters. Texas officials report that the sudden flash flood devastated a wide area along the riverbank. Rescue teams have already recovered 24 bodies from the river, but many are still unaccounted for, and that number could rise. According to reports, no trace has yet been found of the missing 23 schoolgirls. But there's a glimmer of hope. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick believes the girls may have climbed trees or taken shelter in isolated places, cut off from communication. Until every child is found, airborne rescue operations will continue. Helicopters sweep across the flood-hit zones. Rescue boats, divers, satellite data, all are being used in a desperate effort to find survivors. But the heavy rain hasn't let up. In just 45 minutes, the river rose over 8 meters. That's 26 feet of water rushing down. And it all began on Friday morning, July 4th, when a powerful storm dumped relentless rain on the region. Social media is now flooded with terrifying footage, houses, cars, even trees being swept away like toys. Over 500 rescue workers have been deployed. 14 helicopters are in the air. Emergency crews are working day and night. Still, progress is slow. The worsening weather and constant rainfall continue to delay rescue efforts. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has already declared a state of emergency across 15 counties, and has called in FEMA and the U.S. Coast Guard to help. At this moment, all across the United States, Texas is at the center of national concern, especially because of how this tragedy has impacted innocent children. The way young schoolgirls were caught in the middle of this disaster has shaken the nation and forced authorities into overdrive. Rescue efforts are running all night. Drones, thermal cameras, helicopters. Everything is in the air or on the ground, searching desperately for the missing. Meanwhile, parents are calling, over and over again. Some hear nothing. Some get no signal. Others, just a final message. A text on Facebook or Instagram, spreading like wildfire. "Mom, it's raining, but I'm okay." And then, nothing. Career County Sheriff Larry Lata confirmed that 24 bodies have been recovered so far. The river rose so fast, radar systems couldn't even detect the surge in time. And still, rescue operations are underway. The Texas National Guard, U.S. Coast Guard, FEMA, everyone's on the ground, working together. This wasn't a storm with warnings. It wasn't a flood you could plan for. It hit without warning. There was no time to evacuate. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has already declared a state of emergency in 15 counties. And emergency services report that the Texas National Guard has already rescued more than 230 people. Helicopters, rescue swimmers, boats, every available asset is deployed. And the work continues through the night. Camp Mystic, a century-old summer camp, had nearly 750 school students staying at the time. Now, at least 25 are still missing. But the camp officials are urging the public not to assume the worst. Missing doesn't always mean lost. Some may have climbed trees. Others may have damaged phones or no signal. They're still holding on to hope. Camp authorities say they're praying that every child will be found alive. So why did such a massive disaster happen? According to the National Weather Service, even their forecasts didn't fully capture the scale of the rainfall. Overnight, more than 300 millimeters of rain fell. That's nearly a foot of water. The river swelled rapidly, and before anyone could even realize what was happening, disaster had already struck. Before sunrise, tragedy had taken over. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick addressed the situation, saying, "If you haven't heard from your child, don't assume the worst. Stay hopeful, they may be safe." He added that camp officials are trying to contact families individually, but reality on the ground paints a more chaotic picture. Worried parents are flooding into reunification centers, desperately searching for answers. Many are posting their children's photos across social media, pleading for help. This horrifying disaster has brought back painful memories for locals. It reminds them of the 1987 flood, when the Guadalupe River had last turned violent, and many lives were lost. With heavy rainfall continuing, there's growing fear that another flash flood could hit at any moment. Authorities are now urging people to avoid riverbank areas entirely. This tragedy struck on Friday, the 249th Independence Day of the United States. A day meant for celebration became a day of heartbreak. Many families had planned holiday outings near the river. But now, those plans have been canceled. And a painful question is on everyone's mind. In 2025, why don't we have better warning systems for disasters like this? When your phone can alert you 10 minutes before it rains. Why can't it warn you 2 hours before a deadly flood? But the truth is, nature doesn't always follow forecasts. This heartbreaking event reminds us that both technology and the natural world remain deeply unpredictable. What hurts the most? The missing girls were only 12, 13, 14 years old. We pray that they are found safe, every last one of them. And for those who won't return, our hearts go out to their families. May they find strength in this time of unimaginable loss. This is one of the darkest chapters in recent Texas history. We will continue to bring you the latest updates right here on this channel. Stay safe, stay strong, and keep the families in your thoughts.